Roberta Flack, 88, died after a musical career that charmed generations. Flack, famous for her duets with Donny Hathaway and Peabo Bryson, and her stunning versions of Killing Me Softly with his song and The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face, left an enduring influence on the music business. She was one of the greatest vocalists because she effortlessly blended jazz, soul, R&B, and pop. Her spokeswoman said, "We are heartbroken that the glorious Roberta Flack died away this morning." With family, she died peacefully on February 24, 2025. Roberta smashed records and limits. She was a proud teacher. In addition to music, Flack influenced education and activism throughout the decades. She was a great musician and tutor who promoted musical education and inspired many artists with her revolutionary work. She won several Grammy Awards and was considered one of the best vocalists ever due to her smooth, emotional voice and moving storytelling. Flack's 2016 stroke hampered her performance. Her legacy and songs were treasured worldwide. Her pensive ballads and strong duets established her as a genre and generation-spanning trailblazer. Fans, fellow musicians, and lovers grieve her death, remembering her enormous impact on music. Her voice, spirit, and profound influence will live on via her iconic songs that defined her incredible career. Roberta Flack is one of soul and R&B's most revered and influential musicians due to her beautiful presence, unmatched flexibility, and uncommon ability to portray love's joys and sorrows through song. Her gentle, strong voice could blend jazz, folk, classical, and pop. Flack was one of the finest vocalists because she could make every phrase feel personal, whether singing a ballad or an anthem. Flack, born February 10, 1937 in Black Mountain, North Carolina, was raised around music. Her musical parents encouraged her talent. Her mother, Irene, was a church choir organist, exposing young Roberta to gospel music and classical pieces that shaped her musical style. This setting fostered Flack's love of music and extraordinary talent. She played the piano well by 9, showing a strong understanding of harmony and composition. Her musical talent set her apart, and at 15, she received a full music scholarship to Howard University. She was one of the youngest students admitted to the elite college, making this feat groundbreaking. Flack focused on classical piano instruction at Howard to become a concert pianist. However, her artistic interests drove her to explore more musical styles. Her love of jazz, blues, and folk music led her to perform in local clubs, developing her own style. At Howard, she improved her technical skills and developed an appreciation for musical narrative, which would make her one of the most evocative and beloved vocalists of her time. Flack's early musical influences and innate talent to express emotion through song created the groundwork for a career that touched millions for decades. From church roots to classical training to international acclaim, her journey shaped her into a legendary performer. Her talent to cross genres and dedication to art ensured that her music would inspire future generations. Roberta Flack, 19, wanted to pursue opera after graduating from Howard University. Her classical background, exquisite technique, and passion for music prepared her to perform Mozart, Beethoven, and other classical composers on the grand stage. In order to get into the competitive classical music scene, Flack got a teaching job in North Carolina. It was a deviation from her goals, but it would lead to a greater musical legacy. She taught them the same enthusiasm for music that had motivated her during the day. Although rewarding, teaching did not satisfy her desire for performance. She sought out extracurricular performances because the stage beckoned to her. Flack performed in nightclubs and small venues on weekends and evenings. These private concerts helped her develop her trademark style, which combined classical music's subtle elegance with blues's raw passion, folk's storytelling depth, Motown's addictive rhythms, and pop's mass appeal. Her captivating and affecting performances stem from her ability to blend these disparate inspirations. Flack skillfully transitioned between genres, creating a timeless and original sound. Her virtuosity was noticed. Word spread of the young woman whose voice could calm a room and whose piano playing could invoke the deepest feelings. Soon, she was a sought-after act, performing regularly at venues across Washington, D.C. In 1968, a life-changing opportunity presented itself. Mr. Henry's, a Capitol Hill restaurant and music venue, gave her a residency that year. This change was pivotal. Her performances there drew greater audiences, and industry insiders and key personalities noticed. Mr. Henry's residency's enormous success proved one thing. Not only was Roberta Flack passionate about music, it was her fate. She quit teaching to pursue music full-time due to her talent and rising prospects. Flack took a risky step because she thought she had something exceptional to offer the world. Her gamble paid off in ways she never dreamed. She dedicated herself to her trade from then on, paving the foundation for her international stardom. A side gig in smoky clubs after long days of teaching became one of the most amazing music careers. Roberta Flack was no longer a dreamy teacher. She was a budding talent whose voice would shape music for years. Les McCann, a soul jazz pianist and vocalist, met Roberta Flack as her fame grew in Washington, D.C. A respected jazz musician, McCann quickly noticed her ability to interpret songs with extraordinary depth of emotion, her seamless synthesis of genres, and her deep, velvety voice that seemed to tell a narrative with every note. He introduced her to Atlantic Records because he believed the world needed to hear her amazing skill. Atlantic soon noticed. The label, home to iconic artists, saw great potential in Flack. By early 1969, a year after her residency at Mr. Henry's pushed her into local prominence, she was in a recording studio, ready to start her career. Flack's debut album was recorded in 10 hours compared to many others that take months or years. First Take was a musical time capsule that captured her years of live performance perfection. Her stunning selection of songs blended classical, blues, folk, soul, jazz, and gospel in a natural and revolutionary way. Each tune showed her attention and passion for her trade, making the album not merely a debut, but a statement of artistic identity. In the album's original liner notes, Les McCann said, "Her voice touched, tapped, trapped, and kicked every feeling I've ever known." His words captured what so many felt when they first heard Flack. A tremendous emotional connection, an unfathomable power that could transport listeners to the depths of despair or the heights of delight in a single song. First Take swiftly established Flack's dominance beyond McCann's plaudits, not simply another debut album. A vocal and musical narrative masterclass. Music like "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face" was ethereal and eerie, foreshadowing the massive success that would follow. The album's cross-genre appeal set Flack apart from her peers, proving she could transcend any style. First Take took 10 hours to make, but took a lifetime. It came after years of training, many club nights, and a firm belief that music was her calling. It was the beginning of a famous career that would redefine soul and R&B, inspire generations of performers, and change music forever. Despite First Take's brilliance, Roberta Flack saw delayed commercial success. Critics and fellow artists recognized her talent, but mainstream audiences hadn't really embraced her intensely emotional style. 2 years after her debut album, an unforeseen opportunity propelled her to popularity in 1971. That chance came from Hollywood. Clint Eastwood, recognized for his ability to use music to enhance his film's emotional impact, was drawn to Flack's version of "The First Time Ever I Saw Your Face." The 1950s folk classic by Ewan MacColl had been performed by several performers, but Flack's version was unique. She made the melody transcendent with her slow, thoughtful, and hauntingly intimate interpretation. A stripped-back arrangement highlighted her sweet, velvety voice that lingered over every line, making the song a spiritual experience of love and devotion. "Play Misty for Me," director and star. Eastwood immediately knew this song was suitable for his picture. The psychological thriller about a radio DJ's hazardous relationship with an obsessive fan includes a major love scene with Flack's song over soft, sweeping cinematography. The positioning was fantastic. Audiences are connected with its romance's desire and sensitivity. When the film premiered, Flack's music gained fresh attention. "The First Time I Saw Your Face" went viral overnight. It topped the U.S. charts for 6 weeks in 1972. This song was uncommon in that it didn't just become popular. It became a cultural staple, the song people connected with their deepest love and longing. The song won the 1973 Grammy for Record of the Year, cementing Flack's standing as a major musical force. What could have been a once-in-a-lifetime win became a remarkable back-to-back. Flack won Record of the Year again in 1974 with Killing Me Softly with His Song. Killing Me Softly with His Song was another storytelling and vocal masterpiece. Based on Lori Lieberman's experience watching Don McLean perform, Flack turned the song into a deeply moving anthem of musical connection. Her voice conveyed admiration and heartbreak, perfectly capturing the feeling of being overwhelmed by another artist's performance. The song became a radio hit and solidified Flack's reputation for turning a song into an event. Her consecutive Grammys were historic. Flack became the first artist to win Record of the Year twice. It showed her skill and ability to create timeless, personal songs. Only decades later would U2 and Billie Eilish duplicate Flack's feat, demonstrating its rarity and significance. She wasn't done. That year, 1974, she had another number one, Feel Like Makin' Love, a sensual jazz-infused ballad that again showed Flack's ability to blend genres and intimacy, solidified her reputation as a master interpreter of love songs, able to express passion and vulnerability with nuance few artists could match. Roberta Flack was no longer a rising talent by the mid-1970s. Her music was iconic. Love, longing, and deep feeling were associated with her voice. She broke records, raised standards, and showed her craft was timeless. A legacy was being created that would inspire future generations. Roberta Flack found a similar spirit in Donny Hathaway, a great soul singer and pianist, as her career grew in the 1970s. The pair became one of the most famous soul and R&B duos, creating music that still resonates today. It was obvious they clicked. Both performers could add emotional depth to songs by mixing their voices in a way that felt natural and moving. The first huge hit together was Where Is the Love? The 1972 song became a symbol of longing and love uncertainty. The song peaked at number 5 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100 and won the Grammy for Best Pop Performance by a duet or group with vocals. Flack and Hathaway's synchronized vocals enhanced the song's depiction of love's unmet promises. Each note carried unsaid feelings as their voices knitted like silk. Where Is the Love did so well. They reunited for 1978's The Closer I Get to You. The music became dreamier and more sensual, portraying the slow-burning intensity of a deepening romance. This song also peaked at number 1, 2 on the Billboard Hot 100, cementing Flack and Hathaway as one of the finest musical duos. The Closer I Get to You went beyond love. It was an experience, demonstrating the wonder of two perfectly matched voices. Unfortunately, their partnership ended. Donny Hathaway died in 1979 after falling from a 15th floor New York City hotel window. The music industry and Flack were devastated by his demise. Their friendship went beyond music. Hathaway went beyond collaboration. A good buddy and artistic soulmate. Though mourning, Flack honored his legacy via song, Back Together. Again, one of their unrecorded duets reached number 1 in the UK a year after his death in 1980. Charts show 3. Success was bittersweet. The song praised reunion and joy, yet mourned Hathaway's absence. Despite the devastating loss, Flack sought new artistic collaborations while maintaining her trademark passionate approach. She teamed up with smooth, soaring vocalist Peabo Bryson in the early 1980s. They recorded Tonight, I Celebrate My Love, a beautiful tune that captivated audiences worldwide. It was Flack's biggest UK success, peaking at number in 1983. The gentle melody and sincere lyrics of the duet symbolized love, passion, and commitment, making it a wedding classic. Flack's ability to connect with varied musicians and bridge musical barriers showed her unique skill. She collaborated on projects that represented her diverse musical tastes. She performed with Miles Davis, recorded a duet with a young Michael Jackson, and sang Leonard Cohen and Laura Nyro's songs. She never stuck to one genre. Her music seamlessly blended classical, jazz, R&B, pop, and folk into her own sound. She had an impact beyond her records. Flack helped Quiet Storm, a smooth, introspective, and emotionally rich R&B subgenre, flourish in the 1970s and 1980s. His uncommon ability to convey sensitivity and intensity made Flack's voice ideal for the genre. Erykah Badu and D'Angelo, who identified Flack's music as a major influence on their work, were inspired by her work. Flack reinvented herself while preserving her elegance and depth as music styles changed. Lauryn Hill's 1996 performance solidified her influence. The Grammy-winning song introduced Flack's legacy to a new generation. Despite the Fugees' hip-hop-infused remake, it stayed true to Flack's original vision, proving her everlasting talent. Flack experimented with new material, never resting on prior accomplishments. Her 2012 Beatles cover album, Let It Be Roberta, paid respect to one of the finest bands ever. It was another example of her courageous approach to music, showing that even after decades in the profession, she was still driven by curiosity, passion, and a love of storytelling via song.